Yeah. Uh-huh. Salute. Hey, check this out. It's your guy, me Drip. We back at it again with another conversation. And this time I want to shine a light on somebody who's not really known in the social media space, but more so known in the tech world, video game industry. I want to shine a light on Sarah Bond for a second, right? So, for those who didn't know, Sarah Bond has been recently selected as the vice president, not vice president, but she's been selected as the president of Xbox, the company, right? So, so I'm gonna get into various different things, right? I'm gonna talk about how she was able to rise to the top to become the first ever black vice president, right? Of not vice president, I keep saying vice president, but the black president, the first ever black president of Xbox. I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff she did right, why she peaking at the right time. I'm just get into how she played her cards right. So one of the things she did that got her up to that point was she played it smart. She only worked for leaders that believe in her. She didn't just go work for people under her just for the money. Because some people, and I'm not saying just working for the money is a bad thing, but some people they just go work for the money and they have a lackluster relationship with the owner or the manager of the company, right? She took a much more different approach. She only aligned herself with leaders who obviously was willing to hire her, but who also believed in her brand. And so why is that important? Because when you have somebody believe in you, you're much more likely to go 10 times harder than somebody who just says, hey, you're just a number, another number, right? When you believe in somebody, or when somebody believes in you, you put in a lot more initiative for things that are outside of your wheelhouse. So now I give an example, right? Since she worked at Xbox, she was she was probably doing a little thing since the leader believed in her, right? She probably stayed and did overtime and didn't charge the company. She probably went and traveled to certain events, even when she wasn't, told to do so, nor asked to do so. She took it upon herself to do it. She made sure she solved the problems before the CEO of the company bought up beforehand. She made sure she beat them to it, right? And another reason she rose to the top because before she started working at Xbox, she started working at other companies beforehand, as far as the tech side of things, right? She started out working in T-Mobile, building relationships there again. There was another leader there who believed in her. And then she started working at Microsoft, which actually Microsoft is the company that owns Xbox. So she started working there. And so she started getting experience at other different places, right, to help her get into the position where they was like, hey, she has enough value where we can sign off on her becoming president. Not only was she an employee, she was a chief of staff, and as of right now, she's a vice president. She is a gamer herself, and also she's a part of a board. I forgot the company, but she's a part of the board. So what that means is she's at the bottom. She learned information at the bottom. She's at the top. She's learning information at the top. Then she's in the boardroom. So she understands the executive decision process, right? As far as trying to get things done. Also, she is a mother as well. And I'm pretty sure she's an auntie and, what you call, not grandma, but she probably a godmom or a babysitter, nanny. So how that helps her is when she's inside the community, right? A lot of kids like to play Xbox. This is a proven fact. So when she's inside the community, she can be able to get uh, a personal view, personal front row view to like how kids react and respond to certain functions of an Xbox. And she's an Xbox gamer herself. So she's in various different spaces, right? And it's keeping her sharp as far as her mentality because she has a bunch of different stories and experience. And plus, she is hands on in the field when it comes to Xbox is concerned, right? So that was another reason how she rose to the top. So also another thing what Sarah did right, what really helped her get to the top was getting pregnant. Hey, sometimes having kids while you work is a good thing. This situation is no different, right? She had a kid and she thought about doing something else because she was scared she wasn't gonna make it because she was pregnant. Because she didn't want to take the risk of the 6 month maternity leave and stuff like that. So she's smart because a lot of people, yeah, once they get pregnant, I don't want to say they get lazy, but they just stop. A lot of women, they rather be mothers first, and ain't no wrong with that because hey, your primary job is when you have a kid, it's the job or a mother, right? So a lot of them choose to be a mother first, which ain't no wrong with that. But she wanted to find a balance in between both. And so the executive basically came up to her, or not the executive, but the CEO of one of the companies, either T-Mobile or Microsoft, came up to her and told her, hey, we have a position for you. You could be our COO, right? So initially, beforehand, she had a traveling job where she was always on the road. And that don't work well when you got a baby because one day her water could break and she out on the road, she on the airplane, and now she may have to give birth while she on the plane and stuff like that. And she ain't want to do that. Obviously, don't know. A lot of women ain't finna just volunteer to be on the road while they pregnant like that. So again, relationships matter. So it's not what you know, it's not who you know. It's all on who want to see you grow. So the person that she knew wanted to see her grow. So he promoted her to becoming the COO. And so what he did was that helped her maintain her job, put her in a better position of professional development. And also she didn't have to, her role changed because she didn't have to be on the road doing other things. She could be more so working at the office position and handling decisions right then and there. So her actually being pregnant, it actually helped. I'm gonna tell you how it helped her. It sat her down long enough to think. Sometimes that's what we need. We need to just sit down for a little bit to think. And that's what she believed in Allah, God, Buddha, and stuff like that. That's what really helped. It put her to sit down and think. Sometimes, recovery is another form of self-discovery, right? Sometimes a new direction is a form of a better direction. So it really helped her out by her sitting down and she was sitting thinking to herself like, I don't want to be on the road forever. I love what I do, but I can't do that and be a mom at the same time. So it made her come to a point. Then she would talk to the head guy in charge, and he didn't want to lose it because he believed in her. Again, it's not what you know, who you know. It's all on who want to see you grow. He believed in her, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna find you a better position to be in, and I can relate to that wholeheartedly. Now, I'm a man, so I ain't get pregnant or nothing like that. But I was working once upon a time in a section where I've been there for a long time or a good little while, right? They're doing the same position over and over again. It got robotic. It got stale. And then it took for a situation to happen to me where I had to sit down. And then I started thinking. And I did the same exact thing. I spoke up to somebody. I was just like, hey, time for a change. And then what happened gave me a change. I wound up getting a way better position. And what happens is I got a way better position and it was the position that I wanted, so I started going 10 times harder because I didn't want to take that position for granted. I was doing more little things than just the the basics, right? And what I mean by that is just having more initiative. Because sometimes like when y'all not in the position that y'all want, y'all initiative goes down, and that hurts the company in a way too. But when you're in a position and everybody wants to be there, and that chemistry and everybody buys in, you're in a special environment. And I was in an environment where I bought in, and I had chemistry with the people I work with, and then it was just off to the races. So I can relate to her story wholeheartedly. So in that regard, right? So I'm gonna tell you, like right now, she just got elected and she got selected to become the president of Xbox. And she is peaking at the right time. And I'm going to tell you why she's peaking at the right time because none of her jobs she got fired from. It's huge because when you work with them companies and the major corporations like that and to get into them positions, it's a good old buddy buddy system. They all know each other. And so you have to be very, very careful what bridges you burn. Because sometimes you burn one bridge, you burn all of them. So you gotta be careful. So she did smart. She didn't get fired from none of her jobs and she ain't necessarily quit. She just It's a difference between quitting and seeking professional growth, right? And she chose to go after the professional growth route rather than quitting. It's a difference. So she started peaking at the right time. One, because of her maintaining relationships, and she only worked with leaders who believed in her and she believed in them. So the relationship is good. So anything she needs, they're just a phone call away, right? So your network is key, or network leads to your net worth, right? Because again, she is a higher position, higher pay. So the other reason she peaking at the right time is because, again, like I said, she been in different situations and different angles. So she got a lot of different experience. So when she in that boardroom as the president of the company, she tried to propose idea. She already on the board for another company, so she know how they think. So when they try to throw little, counters at her and throw pivots and stuff to be and throw off a game and be a devil's advocate for any ideas she try to impose, she could, hit a comeback just that quick because she already been in that situation. She know what it's like to pick holes in other people's stuff. So she already know the question that they're gonna ask. So when they throw it her way, she already ready for it. So you can't beat her with that. You can't throw where's her experience because she got the hands-on experience. She's a gamer herself. Plus, she's been in other digital fields as well. And also, she graduated college. I think she went to two different universities, Yale and Harvard. Don't bush me, but I make sure I get y'all the information. But she went to two different colleges. She's educated as well. Then she's a mother. And then again, she's probably close to some, them people, the mamas, they all know somebody else who a mama. So she all closely tight knit with kids. Why is kids important? Because kids are largest consumers of games. So when you're around kids like that, it helps keep you sharp. So she get in the streets point of view, as far as gaming concerned. Because a lot of times some of them they look at the overview stuff like the analytics and data and stuff like that in the back office. She do both. She look at the analytics and back office, and then she in the streets as well, getting that hands-on learning experience. And another reason why she peaking at the same time is because she started the whole subscription thing. Now, a lot of y'all, I know y'all mad at her for starting subscriptions and stuff like that because some people don't like to pay every month or whatever the case may be. Y'all don't take that up with me. Take it up with her. So, cause I see a lot of y'all in her comment section on some of her interviews and stuff like that. Y'all mad that she did that. That ain't really my business. But for this conversation, right, she started the subscription. And I think they made a record breaking number in sales as far as they ran up $20 million dollars in revenue, right? So that's another reason. So soon as she got in that position, she got to work. So she on interviews. Her main focus is to get more stores across the board, especially in the European market. Then she driving the sales up too, as far as revenue is concerned. And when you drive up sales within a company, they're not in XBOX, Xbox, Xbox is an IPO company, a public traded company. So obviously, when you drive the value up in a company, as far as the revenue is concerned, the value goes up in the stock. So again, she's keeping a lot of people pockets greased. So the board of directors pockets greased, Microsoft pocket is greased, Bill Gates pocket is greased, the co-CEO pocket is greased, the investment firms that own Microsoft is greased. Also the hedge funds that have a share, and other shareholders in Microsoft, they pockets is greased. So when everybody pocket is greased, when you make them look good, you look good. That's just how it works in the corporate game. So that's another thing. Salute. Just how another reason why she peaking at the right time. And then also, not only she building relationships with not only people in the corporate world, again, she may not be famous like far as the social media space and stuff like that goes, content creation. But again, she's a gamer herself. So she sit on the Xbox and go live and play different games and stuff like that. She travel the world still a little bit and go sit with other gamers and stuff like that. And she's willing to go find hidden talent in different markets. And she flies them out there to Xbox company or to one of the Xbox studios. They only got 4 studios. She flies them out to one of the studios, and then she sits in the meeting. She talks to them herself. So what that does is it does something to her mind because again, it building her story catalog up. storytelling what goes a long way in business too as well, because with a lot of storytelling, you have to have a lot of experience to be able to have good storytelling. Most of the time, unless, you make up fictional story, because there are good fictional writers. But in this situation, she got a lot of different stories. And then that's not cool. Again, her relationships within the community and stuff like that. Because again, like she is not big in the content creation space goes. So what that does is that opens up more of a line to her. Because like only on social media, she only got like 3,000 followers. So what that means is you can shoot her a DM and you can probably get, I don't want to say it's easy access to her, but she'll be much more likely to open your message compared to she had a million some followers and 10% DMing her every month talking about Xbox and stuff like that. So that's just my point of view of how like she peaking at the right time. She greasing a lot of people's pockets and she building a lot of relationships too. So that's how she winning. And so now I'm gonna tell you where Sarah can go wrong at. And Sarah, I know you're probably watching this and stuff like that. So you're a smart woman. You've been around in the game. You got a lot more insight, way more than I do, right? But this is just on the outside looking in. This is how she can go wrong, right? And and she's a good listener too. So she'll listen to this, and I know she'll probably put it into account. She'll take it into account, right? But this is how she can go wrong, right? Now she the president of the company. Her stomach ain't touching her back no more. That's how she'll lose. Number one reason why she'll lose. She got to the top and she got her dream position and her stomach ain't touching her back no more. And why is that important? That's a huge factor because when your stomach is touching your back, it's way different when it's not touching your back. When your stomach touching your back, aka when you're starving, that's when sometimes you put in your best work. Your voice sound more hungry. You have more energy. You have more drive. You have much more attention to detail. Unlike somebody whose stomach ain't touching their back, they can be complacent. They have sloppy decisions, and when they have sloppy decisions, they lose their precision, right? And then that's what affects their decisions. They eating too good, you know. Uh, she's starting to gain weight. I ain't saying she is, but this what happens. She'll start to gain weight because, she never ate out in restaurants as much when she was at the bottom. Now she eating out every night, meeting some of the most famous people and rubbing shoulder to shoulders with some of the most powerful people in the world. Her thighs getting too thick because she eating all the bread. She drinking too much alcohol and she having restless nights. So then when she come to work, she a little bit more sluggish. She more irritated and more moody at work. And the board of directors, they start seeing her work performance go down. And now she getting several counselors and several write-ups. And now she addicted to the coffee because now every morning she needs to be on that coffee. So again, like that's one reason she can lose because she at the top of her position. She living her life. She got everything she wants. She got the dream job. She probably got the house. She probably want the credit probably good. She got the kids. Uh, she's married. She got the husband. She got somewhat a certain level of fame, and it's not fame where it's dangerous. She got comfortable fame where she can still go outside and people will still not know her or want to walk up to her and ask a bunch of questions and take pictures and stuff like that. And she got a lot of relationships, so she'll never go broke again. All she gotta do is make one phone call and they'll get her a job somewhere. So her stomach ain't touching back, so she ain't, just making the moves. And when you can get complacent, right? So comfortable is being a good thing. Sometimes, hey, you need to be comfortable somewhere, right? But when your stomach ain't touching your back, you could get complacent. Another thing, her working on the job and she doing way too many favors. Since she in a position of power, she doing way too many favors. She call this one company, she'll be like, hey, I need a favor, but I do you a favor on the back end. She call the next company, hey, I do a front end back end favor. And then she call the third company, I do a front end back end favor. And then when she go home to her family members and stuff like that, she really can't take no break because it's mommy this, mommy I need that. And then it's not cool. Like she have, God forbid, but she have relationship issues like with her husband and stuff like that. So it's messing with her head because he probably going off on her because he talking about you never at home, you working late, you on the game all day, you play the game more than me, the man of the house. So That's another reason where she got too many favors and she stretched too thin. And again, I'm not saying that this is her, but it's another situation where she could be stretched too thin because everybody always wants something from her because of her positions that she. And you know how hurtful that is? You know how hurtful that is? When everybody want everything from you but you? That's one of the most hurtful feelings in the world. And that can mentally destroy somebody, especially somebody like her, because she actually cares about making a global impact on the world. She cares about being a family woman. So when everybody take everything from you and you gave them everything, but they take so much from you where you felt that you never gave nothing back, you can feel depleted. It's a hurtful feeling. They can mentally destroy somebody like that. So that's another thing. Like she doing too many favors. The third reason, she care too much. She care way too much. Like sometimes since she the president of the Xbox company, right? You care too much. She care too much about people's opinions as far as the comment sections on social media, Xbox, because Xbox got their own social media too. So she reading all the comments on there. She reading the reviews on the games that always come out, and especially the ones she had a big say so in. She in the comment section reading that, and she get caught too much up into everybody's public opinion about it instead of just looking at the general view of the public. And she started getting her feelings, and then she get caught up trying to be a people pleaser, and then boom, she go downhill, right? And another reason she could lose, right? Not keeping her ear to the streets, quote unquote. Now, when I mean streets, I'm not always talking about Pookie, Ray Ray, Nugent, Quay, Quay, TT, Mimi, right? I'm not talking about them, right? I'm talking about just the consumer in general, right? Because you in her position, she could be spending a lot of hours like in the office and making decisions, stuff like that. So she's focusing more so on the analytical side of things rather than being out in the field again and actually seeing what's going on with the consumers of the gaming system, right? So when she lose that ear to the streets, they can kind of play a part into her decision making when it comes to new games because when you don't have that direct B2C relationship, that business to consumer relationship with your customer, then when you every or update you try to put out on Xbox and you don't take them into consideration because you're in a people serving business, right? You in a product based business. When you don't take them in consideration, that's when that's when the company stock go down, and then that's when your value go down, right? And then that's when you start hurt. And again, I think you know this, Sarah. You know this, Sarah. When it comes to your company, Xbox company, right? And this leads me to my final reason where you can go wrong. You're doing a lot of good right now. I salute you on it. You're doing a lot of good right now. You're peaking at the right time. You got a lot of good relationships. You got everything going for you. You're making the company a lot of money right now. And a lot of the fans of Xbox, you look them up and research them. They love you. A lot of people love you, but this is where you can go wrong here. When you get too complacent, you get too complacent because you still gotta understand. You been in that position, there's a politics side to it. A woman-owned president, sometimes that's girls in a lot of spaces. So one wrong move, you can't afford 3, 4, 5, 6 months of decision slumps. Decision slumps. You can't afford 3, 4, 5, 6 months of that because you know in that corporate world, sometimes it's a man's world, and it's not only it's a man's world, it's a buddy buddy system. It's a who you know system. And if you're not a part of that buddy buddy, which you can a part of the system at the same time, men gonna show love to the men first. And if you make the wrong moves and start having sloppy decisions, you're gonna start getting the phone calls. Phil gonna give you that phone call. Xbox board of directors gonna give you that phone call. Bill Gates gonna look at them numbers of Microsoft that own Xbox. And what's that other? He got a co-CEO, CEO. I think her name is Sadia or something like that. That uh co-CEO, they look at the numbers and they gonna make the phone call, right? Microsoft investment firms gonna make their phone call. Them hedge funds, and the other shareholders, and other board of directors gonna make them phone calls, and even the customers, which the customers gonna call anyway, right? Because the customers ain't customer all the time ain't gonna be 100% happy. But you know you in a decision making slump, the customers gonna start calling Xbox phone, and sometimes Some of them, they write letters, and then you on YouTube and stuff like that. Everybody know you, and you famous. And when you having decision making slots, and you know, when it comes to the consumer, that's who y'all really in this for. Consumers, when it comes to game, they're highly emotional people. So they making them phone calls too, right? And you getting pressure from the middle, top, and bottom, you're gonna be out of there. And I think you know that, Sarah. You know that, Sarah. That's how you can go wrong, right? When you don't manage things going around your life perfectly, right? When you don't manage everything perfectly, you start to, get complacent. That's where you can go wrong. Now, I'm not saying she is, because Sarah, she's a smart woman. She listens, right? And again, she's been in various different situations that helped her get to this point. So I don't see her just fumbling her position that easy, right? But again, hey, sometimes the higher you are, the harder you fall. It can happen to anybody. So that's some of the reason why she can go wrong. Hey, so look, I did have a couple of questions in my notes, Sarah, that I wanted to ask you too. And some of the people probably wanted to ask you too as well. Because some people are concerned about the whole diversity, equity, inclusion thing, right? So I saw you mention in one of your interviews, you was talking about bringing more UK and European stores to the light, right? But my question is, if it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? What about all the other people's stores? Are you just gonna exclude them, or are you just gonna start with one first and build off of it? What's your point of attack on that? That's my first question. My second question is, you mentioned too on several of your interviews, your target, which is smart, to look for more independent gamers and stuff like that, storytellers, right? To bring it to the fold into the company rather than just relying on the company's game developers to do all the work, which is a smart move, right? Because sometimes people have good ideas too. But my question is, right, if you're gonna bring them in to your firm, or not firm, but to your company, right? Are they getting a piece of their royalty contract? What's those in the terms like for bringing them in? Or are you just gonna get them a flight, a hotel, and then just show them a fancy building, an Xbox, and then keep it moving? What's the package gonna look like? Are they gonna be a W-2, or are they gonna be a 1099, not 1090, but a 1099? That's my second question for you. What's the gonna be looking like for independent creators? And my last question is, Sarah, you and your team, right? Because you said you're looking for, again, more independent creators, right? Now, everybody knows, especially who've been in them situations when they do pitches and stuff like that. Everybody knows, even though this your vision, you're not going to say yes to every single body that comes through that door. Nobody who invests in something says yes 100% of the time. Maybe 80, maybe 70, maybe 60, but they don't say yes to every single uh, piece of sliced bread walking. So my question for you is, right, even though you're looking for that, you never mention, and again, it's about time constraints, and I know it's an interview and stuff like that, but you never mention your selection process for that. Yes, because everybody can be an independent gamer, because anybody can think of an idea, but what's your selection process and your point of view before you actually say yes, right? Because you still win regardless. Yeah, you have the company get tax write-offs, uh, because they flying people out, and you can get new inspiration too. And if you was dirty, I don't know if you dirty, I don't think you was, but if you was dirty, you could be taking them ideas, telling them no, taking ideas, and then turn around and give them to the game developer. And it could be a good idea. You make millions of dollars off of it, and they don't nothing in return. So that's my question. What is your selection process? And the people that's watching this too, and y'all want to pitch to her y'all ideas and stuff like that, get it trademarked before y'all go in there. They're just basic business 101. Get your stuff trademarked before you share your idea with anybody. And if you can't afford to get it trademarked, you can do a soft trademark where you put send yourself a Gmail, right? You email your idea, you type it up, email your idea, put the date and time into it, and you can send it to yourself. Now, when it comes to dealing with powerhouse like Xbox, that may not always 100% protect you, right? Especially when it comes to a big company like that. But it can at least give you a foundation to build upon if you can't get you a trademark. Um, But trademarks on like 40 some dollars. You can get the trademark and then focus on anything else later. So that's my view on for like the consumer perspective. Now I ain't saying Sarah is a bad business person. Obviously, she's not because she has a lot of relationships with people, and for her to be in that position, the first ever black president of Xbox, you gotta do a lot of good things for people. You gotta have a lot of good relationships with people. So she ain't doing bad business practice, but you gotta have good business practice too. You gotta be able to, for you as a consumer, you gotta study her. And some of y'all, shoot, she ain't that many followers on social media, and her company. You can probably reach out to the company and get information from her and get man, hit her up, write her a letter or something, and be like, hey, like, I'm a game developer. Tell her who you is. You're a game developer, but don't get too deep into detail about your game. Just tell her, hey, I want to know what's the criteria, what you look for, and what will the process be like. And just what she gonna say. What's the worst she's gonna do is say no, or she may not respond, but at least you tried something. You know what I'm saying? But that's better being at square zero. Square one is better than square zero. Hey, so again, before I get out of here, I just want to say I'm not always right about anything, right? No man or woman is 100% right about anything. I just want to give my perspective on this conversation with Drip. So again, I'm gonna keep dropping more bangers like this and dropping more perspectives and shining more light on unknown stories. I'm not gonna be shining light on stories everybody else cover. I'm gonna just be shining light on stories that nobody else cover. So what I want y'all to do for me is also, Sarah, if you get this video, you want to schedule an interview and sit down and talk with me, whether it's virtual, preferably virtual. We can sit down and check. I love to talk to you. But in the meantime, the next time, tap in, lock in, tune in, hit that like button, hit that comment button, hit that subscribe button, share this video with as many people as possible. Share this with people inside your company. Give them a good laugh today, along with some informativity, if that's a word. Till then, till next time, salute. Yeah.